We begin this news hour in the occupied West Bank, where Israel's large-scale military assault has entered its third day. Israeli troops stormed the cities of Tubas, Tulkarem and Jenin on Wednesday, carrying out airstrikes and destroying infrastructure. They've killed at least 20 Palestinians. 3 fighters were killed on Friday. Israeli forces targeted their car in the village of Zababdeh, south of Jenin. The military set fire to the vehicle and confiscated the bodies in violation of international humanitarian law. The Israeli army has sent reinforcements to the city of Jenin. Meanwhile, troops have reportedly pulled out of the Nur Shams refugee camp near Tulkarem. Israeli forces say they're targeting armed factions, but Palestinians say they're deliberately attacking homes in refugee camps and destroying roads and infrastructure. Let's bring in Nida Ibrahim. She joins us from Nur Shams refugee camp in the occupied West Bank. We'll get to where you are in just a moment, Nida. First of all, just update us on what's been happening there south of Jenin.
Yeah, let's first start by saying that the operation that has started in the early hours of Wednesday is only continuing now in the Jenin area to the north of the occupied West Bank, where Palestinians have been telling us that a group of fighters confronted militarily with the Israeli forces, and they chased the Israeli forces chased the car as it was leaving the Jenin refugee camp towards the village of Zababdeh. When the confrontations continued, one person has been hit. He was inside the car. Now, locals are not sure how the car has burnt, but they believe that the Israeli forces have thrown something that might have put the fire in the car. Now, then an Israeli drone hit 2 men as they were escaping the car, killing them. Now, the Israeli forces say that they've managed to kill and eliminate a cell of fighters that was working against the Israeli forces. This is the main announced goal of this large military operation, the largest in more than 2 decades in terms of the number of troops participating, in terms of the death toll, in terms also of the fact that the Israeli forces have been damaging really homes, infrastructure, and what have you. And we are here also in Tulkarem, where the raid has just ended late last night, and people are still picking up the pieces of what used to be their homes.
Absolutely. And Nida, the Israeli military, I believe, was pulled out now from where you are. Just give us an idea of the damage that they've left in their wake.
Yes, this area in the Nur Shams refugee camp has turned into some sort of an open workshop. I'm not sure if you can hear the sounds of the bulldozers, the Palestinian civil defense teams who are trying really to correct or fix some of the damage. Again, if you were watching us in April, you might think this is an old video of what happened. Same situation. A 3-day raid then caused this massive destruction. Now, we could be telling you about even more destruction because, for example, this area, look at it. The home is not only demolished, there are also signs of fire. The roads really have been destroyed to the extent that it's making the life much more difficult, movement much more complicated, not only here, but also in the main street leading to the inside of the refugee camp. Massive damage. We are talking about the Tulkarem area that has already seen a lot of destruction. Hundreds of homes have been hit by the Israeli forces in previous raids, destroyed. And now we are looking at a similar scene, really. Since the beginning of the war, we've been seeing this massive destruction. As Palestinians say, Israel wants to make sure that the Palestinians' lives, particularly in refugee camps, get more complicated, that they have no option but to leave it. We've been speaking to someone from the neighboring Tulkarem refugee camp yesterday, and she says, yes, she had to leave during this major assault, but she's going to be back to her home she has no other place to go.
No other place to go, Nida, but what is the mood like amongst people there who are facing such destruction, not just this time, but again and again and again, especially since the war on Gaza began?
Well, Laura, I can tell you that people talk about defiance a lot. They say because they know that the Israeli forces want to make their lives more and more difficult, no electricity, no infrastructure, not just here, even in Jenin. Yesterday, we reported that the lines have been cut in the Jenin refugee camp and the eastern region of Jenin. But people say because they know that this is the goal of the Israeli forces, that's exactly why they're here to stay. Yes, sometimes they find it difficult to fix the damage from raids because ultimately, as you can see, the Israeli forces soon come back again and destroy their homes one more time. If they fix one electricity line here, one water line there, the Israeli forces might be back very shortly to ruin that again. But as far as Palestinians tell you here, these are their homes. This is the place they've been displaced to since Nakba and since the date when Israel and the war really that when Israel was created. So they know that displacement is not an answer. They've been steadfast for 75 years, and they say they're going to continue to do so to basically thwart any Israeli plans to make them leave their homes.
Extraordinary resilience in the face of such destruction. Nida, many thanks indeed for joining us there from Nur Shams refugee camp.